Hello there. If you're watching this, you're probably doing so on either a tablet, smartphone, or a computer or laptop. And that's how we're spending a lot of our time now, isn't it? Glued to a device of some sort. Now, how many of us here have downloaded an app to learn something? Or perhaps, let me be specific, an app to learn a language or two? If you have, you're not alone. Did you know that in January 2024 alone, it was estimated that there was a total of 27 million downloads of various language learning apps, like the ones showed here. And this figure is expected to grow. Driving this is the simplicity and efficiency of using these apps, its cost effectiveness, and the rise of E or M learning, which may be tied to globalization and an increase in cross-border work and communications. But is it really effective? Scrolling through the sites, it tends to say things like it's free, fun, effective, due to its personalized learning. It is also engaging and interactive. There's also the aspect of flexibility for the users and learners to learn at their pace. For anyone who is busy juggling the many facets of life, this flexibility is definitely a welcome and doesn't impede learning at all. So there is some truth there, isn't it? On top of that, these apps are designed to motivate users and learners by tapping on their competitive nature to encourage use and progress. Sounds wonderful and good, right? So what's wrong with it? Well, the point of language learning isn't an academic exercise of knowing words alone. In our fast-paced way of living, where it is often about functionality, learning languages would come with the purpose of using it. So in essence, it is about communicating, thinking, and responding within a context. Even though some apps tout its ability to give feedback through AI, or even some form of human interaction, say like a chat function, these are not quite the same. One just has to watch episodes from the old comedy, Mind Your Language, to see how language learning may be fraught with potential misunderstandings that may be hard to rectify simply through an app that may offer little contextual understanding. As much as the flexibility of learning at your own pace is appreciated, the lack of spontaneity that can take place in a real conversation means that the learners may not be able to respond or comprehend the conversations as quickly in reality. In fact, an article in the New York Times back in 2019 shared that though there are benefits to learning languages through the apps, like how it may help to break down components of a sentence, fluency, or having complex conversations beyond basic vocabulary or topics does not seem to be one of them. From an academic perspective, some have warned that the use of language apps may result in more academic misconduct, as students who may be relying on them fail to comprehend certain language conventions like paraphrasing, or even the content itself. So does it mean that this is the end of these language learning apps? Probably not. Remember, it still has a growing trajectory. And the problem really only exists when consumers get sucked into the idea that the apps can replace the actual language classes and proficiency tests. So what can we do? The notion of using educational apps to complement conventional teaching methods is not new anymore. It is in some ways still a very good first step. But instead of just putting the two different modes of teaching side by side, perhaps an integrative approach where developers and educators work hand in hand might be considered. Some apps do claim that. But I am not referring to just offering expert advice to the developers to work on and develop the apps from there. How does this integrative approach look like? I do not quite know. But I do hope this makes us think about our use of technology in the classroom. Learning with technology can go hand in hand. But how organic and authentic? and to what extent.